Yeah.
The way that players were utilized that they did bring, like, it's one thing to look at the guys they didn't and go, how come that guy couldn't have been on Team Canada? The guys they did bring, it's like they didn't watch any tape of them. I know I'm biased here. Let me get this guy out of the way immediately. Jet Luchenko of the Guelph Storm, apparently all he's good at doing is killing penalties because that's all the ice time he ever saw. No one ever watched any tape of him on the power play in Guelph, tearing through defenses by himself and starting power play rushes from his own zone and carrying the puck literally 200 feet and making a backdoor tap in. Nope, we can't have him out there. Even though our power play is struggling, Matthew Schaefer, our quarterback, is gone, and we can't score goals. No, don't shake the lineup for a dynamic kid who plays a 200-foot game. After the tournament, these guys are going, oh, we didn't want guys that were one-dimensional. We wanted good two-way players. He's one of the best two-way players on the team, and he only played on the penalty kill. Unbelievable. Porter Martone, one of the most skilled players on the team, who's going to be a top 3 draft pick. Some people think number 1, that plays for the Brampton Steelheads. Him and Carson Rakoff play on the same line together for the Steelheads and score boatloads of goals. They didn't play together on a line once in the entire tournament, Clarky. And okay, cool. You're going to bench Porter Martone for 2 games. Of course, the first game he comes back, he scores. You're going to bench Carson Rakoff. He took that goofy penalty. Okay, yep, cool. Okay, fine.
No. You didn't bench. You didn't bench, guys. It's too short of a tournament.
No, yeah. And the discipline. We'll get to that. Martone and Gavin McKenna lit up the under 18s on the same line for Canada. They were on a tear at that tournament where they won gold. They didn't play a second together on the ice. Like, this is what I'm talking about, Clark. The guys Ryan, bring.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Well, why didn't they look at past success and go, boy.
Here's the deal. They were too exhausted to practice.
Dude,
so they couldn't have
Let's
tried
transition to that
in practice. They were too exhausted.
So last year,
Coach Cameron,
you referenced last year's disappointing thing, and Alan Letang came out afterward, the coach, and said, we're all really disappointed. I'm disappointed in myself. We should have had a better result for the fans. Like, he came right out and said, we did not get this done, and we should have been better. I needed to be better.
He was accountable.
He absolutely. That's the word that is on everyone's lips. The unaccountability of Hockey Canada, and specifically their figurehead that they picked for this tournament to represent them, Dave Cameron. In the U.S. game, after they lost, when Kenzie Lalonde asked him, what are you going to do about the discipline issues on this team?
Nothing.
He said, I can't do anything. I can't do anything. They know their penalties. They have to decide for themselves that they don't want to be irresponsible. Like, Dave,
totally disagree. I totally, unequivocally disagree.
You can't say stuff like that, Dave. And the couple of the statements that he made, they lose to the Czechs. By the way, they get scored on 43 seconds into that game. They lose to the Czechs, and afterward they asked him if he had any regrets about the way the tournament went or the way he ran the bench, and he said no. Dave, I'm sorry, man. You can't. You have no regrets. You finished 5th. This is Canada. We don't do that here. This is a disastrous showing, and I truly believe that this team was good enough to win a gold medal if anybody else basically had been coaching. He was way too rigid in the way that he coached the team, and the unaccountability continued with those statements, Clarky. Well, they have one of the most undisciplined showings in terms of penalties, and including some penalties that should have been called that weren't, by the way, in that game. They don't practice the next day. The power play was awful. They don't practice. At least go out there and wheel out some power play drills. They lose to Latvia for the first time in tournament history. No practice the next day. Day of the biggest game of the tournament, the quarterfinals against Czechs, no morning skate. These guys didn't touch the ice between all those games. Not on the ice. They were exhausted.
Yeah, they were.
Every other team played. Every other team practiced.
And
every other team
and
took
half
morning
of them
skate.
came from the other side of the world.